Hey, so we're looking at this problem and it says solve the compound inequality, and then we're going to put it in interval notation if this exists. So the first thing we need to do, I'm going to write it as two separate things. So I have t plus 9 less than negative 9, righty? And 2t minus 3 less than negative 2. All right. So like we did in if this inequality was equality, we would draw a little line here, and whatever happens to the left, we have to do the right. We're going to do the same thing for these two. So on the left, I'm going to subtract 9 so that these cancel. I'm going to subtract 9 to this side. So I get t is less than negative 18. I keep the same order for my inequality here. It's still less than because I didn't multiply or divide by a negative. If I multiply or divide by a negative, I have to flip my sign. But because right here, all we did was add negative 9 to both sides, we didn't have to worry about switching our sign or anything. So then for this first one, I'm going to box it in red. For this first one, we're only looking where t is less than negative 18. For the second one over here, I'm going to add 3 to both sides so that these 3's will cancel. And I'm going to get 2t is less than positive 1. Alrighty, I still keep the same order that my sign is in because all I did was add 3 to both sides. Alrighty, I'm going to draw my little line again because I still have stuff with my t. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. And I get t is less than 1/2. And I'm going to box this in right. I keep the same order for my sign because I didn't divide by a negative. I divided by a positive 2. So the order of my inequality stays the same. All right, so now I have two things. I have t less than negative 18 and t less than 1/2. So the best way to look at these is to look at a number line. I'm going to draw my little number line here. So I have negative 18 here. I have 0 and I have 1/2. All right. And it says less than, not less than or equal to. So there's like an open circle here. I'm not including negative 18, and I'm looking at all the values that are less than negative 18. Right. Then same here with the 1/2. It's an open circle. And I'm looking at all the values of t that are less than 1/2. All right. So here's where we kind of have to put these two concepts together. So we have t less than negative 18 and t less than 2. So we're looking for where both of these happen, where it is both less than negative 18 and less than 1/2. So I'm just going to test some points to see what happens. If I pick a point right here, like if I pick 5, that's not going to work. 5 isn't less than 1/2, and it's definitely not less than negative 18. Okay, if I pick negative 5, that's less than 1/2, so that works, but it's not less than negative 18, and I need both of them to be true. I need t less than negative 18 and t less than 1/2 to be true. This negative 5 doesn't work. This one didn't work. This one doesn't work because it works for one, but it doesn't work for the other. Alrighty. So the next time that it would work, let's try negative 19. Negative 19 is less than negative 18, and it's less than 1/2. So that works. So all values that are less than negative 18 work. So to write this as interval notation, we're going to look from negative infinity, because all these values this way, to negative infinity. work. If I picked negative a million, that's less than negative 18 and it's less than a half. So all the way from negative infinity up to 18, up to negative 18. And we're not going to include negative 18 because if we include negative 18, negative 18 is not less than negative 18. They're equal. And we don't have that or equal to sign right here. We just have that it's less than. We don't have the or equal to. So we're not going to include 18 here. All right. So then my answer would be in interval notation, it's negative infinity, comma, negative 18, parentheses, which mean that I'm not going to include negative 18. If I were going to include negative 18, it would be negative 18 with a bracket. And we always have parentheses with infinity because we can't ever get to infinity.